Glad you are here for how to get more leads and turn them into sales, especially for your NAB show, though this is going to work for any event or show that you have. So if you're looking for like the best recipe for getting more NAB leads, or how about a kitchen tested recipe for turning those leads into sales, this is definitely for you. We're going to be here for about 20-ish minutes and talk about things to do before the show, during the show, and after the show. And there's going to be QA time at the end, so we'll stay on as long as you want for QA at the end. I am here today with Morgan Berns from TitanTV. Hey, Morgan, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Glad you're here. Really nice that you could take time out. Well, Morgan, let's get right into it. So we're going to be talking about what to do before your trade show, during, and after to make the most out of it and turn those leads into sales. So Morgan, the other day when we were talking, you were telling me about some of the interesting and super effective things you do before the show. I wondered if you could share a bit about that,
Yeah.
Morgan.
So we kind of try to do some kind of theme each year and coordinate that with a product or a feature that we're trying to promote. So this year and last year we did Top Gun, and then the year before that we did Field of Dreams. We're from Iowa, so it kind of fit. And it was kind of when the MLB baseball games were starting at the Field of Dreams. So we kind of coattailed off of that.
I
Um,
remember that. I
and
remember coming to your booth
yeah,
and you had like you'd done all this themed out stuff in your booth with the field, and I think
yeah,
could I like grab a bat and put on a hat and stuff, or what,
yeah.
you did some cool stuff with
So
that.
yeah, we actually had a kind of like we call a selfie wall, and it was actually real photo of the Field of Dreams. So we're able to go out to the Field of Dreams here in Iowa and do some of our images there. And yeah, we could do the little selfie with the bat and just have some fun with it and get that kind of brought people to our booth as well. Some of the other things that we do beforehand is we like to send out like a holiday card um, to our reoccurring clients and maybe potential clients, and just kind of make sure our face and our name's still out there. And then we like to do webinars beforehand, kind of, again, promoting some of those new products and features. And then the other thing we like to do as well is reach out to them via email. Potential clients that like, hey, are you going to be at the show? And we try to have a link in our signature. So just make it easy peasy for them to sign up to maybe meet us while we're there.
It's so nice. You do such a great job of coming up with a memorable theme and then getting people interested in coming to Titan TV. And I love that. Did you say you also send holiday cards with that stuff too? So you're like
Yeah.
starting out early, right?
Yep. So all the way in December is kind of when we start that. So our marketing year is kind of like November to November. So we'll start our new theme, our new marketing campaign kind of in November. So it's something that kind of goes around all year.
Gotcha, gotcha. I love that so much. It's always fun to see what you're doing. And did you reveal the theme a little? Can you tell a little bit more about the theme for this year? Because I thought it was so fun.
Yeah. So last year and this year, we're doing Top Gun. So it was kind of, new in pop culture, that new Top Gun film. And we're really trying to promote some of our products. We're the best of the best. So using some of those taglines. And then I come from a military background. So it was kind of fun to be able to coordinate some of that in there as well.
Yeah, really sweet. I can't wait to stop by and see you and check it out. Very
Yep, we'll
fun.
have we'll have new stuff, new same theme, but some new things to kind of um, connect it together.
Really nice. Some other things, so some of the clients we work with like to do a behind the scenes photo. So maybe even during booth buildup, happening in January or
Yep.
something like that,
Hmm.
getting the booth together. Certainly on the day of like setup day, you can be in there on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and a little behind the scenes. And I know as a person who set up a booth, a lot of times I'm like, ooh, I kind of cringe. I'm like, oh, there's cables everywhere, and we're all kind of, it's kind of crazy. People love that. And so
Mhm.
even close to the show, if you can snap a picture of what's happening during setup, and you can send that out in an email and social. And so at this point, we're getting pretty darn close. So those kind of behind the scenes shots are a great way to get attention. And if you're feeling like, ooh, I should have done more to promote my show, because sometimes people aren't so organized November to November. They might still
Right.
be thinking now about how to promote. Those type of super authentic shots can get a lot of attention. So a person could send out an email now with a behind the scenes shot, and maybe set another one up to automatically go out on Sunday or Monday of the
Mhm.
show. You could, if you're setting it up as a kind of automated thing, you could have the photo in there from now, but if you get a better one at NAB during setup, you just like swap it out really quickly in your system. And then, like you talked about booking, how many people here on the call have a booking link, a calendar where somebody can set up a meeting, or even a form that somebody can fill in? Is anybody doing that kind of thing? You're welcome to speak out, or yep, Dale, or put it in the chat, whatever's good. So a couple people, yes. There's tons of free things. There's one that we use all the time that we like a lot, that but whatever one you want, doesn't really matter what you use. You can even use like a Google Calendar where people can just go and select
Mhm.
a time slot. Having that booking link is great. And I know you might be thinking, well, so many customers don't want to book. They just say they're going to stop by. They're not going to book. Okay, that's fine. But some people will book, and we always want to give them that option, and get that commitment, get those micro commitments from people. Yes, I'm coming. Yes, I'm coming on this day. Yes, I'm coming at this time. Like any micro commitments you can get is going to help toward that sale eventually if you have what they need. So easy calendar booking link. I've got a checklist for you as well, so that you can go through some of these. Two more ideas I'll just share, and then we'll jump back to Morgan and what Titan TV does on some more during the show stuff. One is you can do a quick series of videos that you can put up on LinkedIn. So maybe 1 minute videos, even if you do one's enough, you're fine. So do one video, or maybe do one a week from now till NAB with just 30 seconds, sharing what's new. And of course, we're always going to talk about what's in it for me, not me, but the customer. What do they care about? So you're going to share that in your video. Hey, if you've got this problem, if you're doing this, if you have this live production, if you are working in IP, whatever the thing is, you might have run across this issue. Come by and see us. We've got this new thing that you're going to like, because it'll help you solve that. So talking about them, using the word you as much as possible in that video. I know it can be hard because it's easy to say we, I, and us a lot, but talk about them in that video, even that 30 seconds. And then the second thing, and then we'll circle back over to Morgan here, is do you have kind of your hot list or hit list? I'm going to ask you about this,
Mhm.
Morgan, too, if you guys do this. Do you have your list of people where you're like, if I only saw those 20 people at the show, I would be stoked. That was the best show ever. Or only saw those 100 people. I call that the Dream 100, and that's taken from a book that talks all about it. And I'm sort of super inspired by that. And so Dream 100 is just a way to fill out that kind of list of who you really, really want to see, and take some steps toward meeting with them. Morgan, do you do anything like that? Have a kind of hot list, hit
Yeah.
list?
Yeah, we actually do. So, like we call it a hit list as well. So it's those clients that either, we have renewals or current clients, or ones that we would really, we've talked to them in the past, their potential. We really want to make that connection with them. So one of the things that we like to do is kind of going back, we do holiday cards. But a lot of times before the big NAB show in Las Vegas, we'll send out another postcard that tells about the date, where it's at, if we, and that's something that we add in our email signatures as well, is sometimes they have a like a discount code to sign up to register. So it's kind of one of like, oh, everybody likes a discount. So we send those out to kind of our hit list. And then we also do, like you talked about, an email blast. So it's something that's kind of already put up, and it has a template, and then it'll hit those key people that we're looking to try to connect with.
Yeah, so that That's great. Is there anybody else on this call? Actually, a couple of you I know do this. Is there anybody else on the call that does that kind of hot list, Dream 100, anything like that? You can just speak out or comment or whatever's good. Just curious if you've had success with that. It's a quiet group. Okay. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, we make sure that some of our content gets promoted to them in LinkedIn, that it comes through their feed. We do paid boosts of certain things, and we identify very specific targets, and it has actually worked.
I love that. I love that so much, Carol. That is most
Thanks.
excellent. If you like this Dream 100 idea and want my little template for it, I'm just popping in the chat. You can text the word dream to me at 530-203-5703. It'll ask you for your email. You'll automatically get this kind of template that Carol's saying. They do a similar thing. Morgan's doing a similar thing. And yeah, it's a really good tool to use. One of the things we used to do too, and I bet you're doing this too, Morgan, Carol, other people on the call, is if you're in the booth with anybody else other than yourself, the other people might not know, who that is. So even if you're in a booth with 2 people, whether it's 50 people, 2 people, however many booth staff you have, it's good to let the maybe the greeting staff, the concierge staff, those kind of people know, hey, if you see somebody come in from Sky, if you see somebody come in from ABC Australia, whatever it is, like maybe they've got that hot list, that hit list, so they can be on alert. Of course, we want to be generous and helpful to everyone. And then there's certain people where you're like, I really need to make sure that person gets to see this product or gets this demo or whatever it is. So you can,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
And I know kind of at the show part of it, we do kind of like a morning meeting, and that's kind of the things that we go over is that these are the people that have a meeting at today. These ones, what we call drive-bys. They're like, we'll be there. I just can't tell you a certain time. So we still have them on the schedule in the morning, and we call them, they'll just come when they have a chance. But then there's ones like, they may or may not. But yeah, some of our priorities and what we've learned in the last few years, we've been getting more quality stop buys versus quantity. So instead of just people that, oh, they're interested in it, but we're getting more of those quality.
I like that. And so just that focus on those main people that you really want to see is so important, instead of just showing up and going, well, I'm here. Hopefully everybody will
Yeah.
find me. Yeah, definitely. Another fun during the show one is what I just kind of mentioned here. If you text the word dream to my phone number, you'll get some. And we're setting some of these up for clients right now for NAB Show. I have a meeting with someone at 11 to get it sorted for them. And it's if you've got a presenter in your booth, or if you've got some signs in your booth, or you're giving a presentation on the AIM stage, you're giving a paper, whatever the thing is, you can have just a sign up in the booth that says, hey, text NAB to this number and get this information that you want. Get a behind the scenes look at how this install worked. Like everybody wants that. Get a black diagram on how this TV station put this together, whatever the thing is. So it's another way to collect leads in the booth. I know that most of us are using the lead scanner, the badge scanner, which is fine. Totally good to do that. It's nice to have multiple ways to connect with your people. And sometimes people are a little reluctant to come in the booth. They're standing in the aisle, or maybe they're not feeling comfortable with their English and don't want to talk at the show or that kind of thing. And they're not sure that they can be understood. So giving them another way to communicate is great. And you can even take that a step further. If you want, you can say, hey, anybody who texts in today is entered to win this, kind of thing. And that can be another really sweet way to collect leads at the show and just give another way to give value. I love the idea that when we are asking someone for their email and contact info, that we're giving them something, that we're of service to them, that we're not like, can I just get your contact info? Hey, I'm going to send you this really cool behind the scenes look at this, or a way to save the $60,000 on your next install, or whatever the thing is, right? So that works really well during the show. Hey, we're getting close to bottom of the hour, so we better do the follow-up after the show. What do you do, Morgan, for your follow-up after the show?
So we use information that we collect during the show, for those that we actually see in person. And we do have a form that our staff can fill out as they're talking with the lead, or afterwards they can fill that information out. And then we try to, within the next couple of weeks after the show, is do some kind of follow up. And it doesn't have to be detailed, just like, hey, it was nice to see you. You know, these are the things that we talked about. Let us know how we can help you in the future. I think that's one of the things it helps keep that open relationship, even if it's not something you can help with them at that time, that'll kind of keep you in the back of their mind as well.
Mind share, keeping the conversation going. I love
Yeah.
that so much. I am just all about making sure marketing starts the sales conversation. Otherwise, why
Mhm.
do marketing if it doesn't
Right.
start? So all the years I spent selling equipment, which was a bunch of years, where I, put stuff in a suitcase, go to a TV station, set it up, have the engineers look at it, and then, work on getting it into their system, or they could purchase it right then and there if I'm lucky. I wanted the marketing that was happening to help with that sales conversation, right? And so I'm a big fan of that right now. And what you're talking about, mind share and everything, love that so much. And staying in touch, like even if it's not a need right now, we all know that it could be 3 years from now that somebody
Mhm.
buys, right?
Yep. Sure. Yes,
So
definitely.
having a plan before the show is crucial. So if you don't have a plan right now, I just popped a checklist into the chat that you're welcome to grab. It's just a free resource that you could use. And if you even get one gem from there, go for it. It's great. Have a plan in place before the show. Even if that plan is really simple. Hey, we're gonna take a picture of the staff in the booth and send it out during the show to everybody who comes by, or on the last day of the show to everybody that came by, and it's going to have a couple helpful links in it. Then we're going to do a webinar after the show, and then we're going to split up the list, and everybody on the team's going to call, 50 of the people, or whatever your plan is. It could be anything, but just have a plan in place. You can always augment, right? You can iterate, make it better, fill in the blank, but just have a plan that's running to follow up. And if you think, oh, the salespeople do it, I don't need to do it, have something that is running in parallel with what the
Mhm.
salespeople do and helps them start that sales conversation. That idea of like, oh, I'm handing the leads to the salespeople, I sent one email, I'm good, is just a heartbreaker, because we want to have more, like Morgan said, to keep them thinking about you. Other thoughts about follow-up? I think, Morgan, you shared everything. Do you have any other
Yeah,
gems in
you
there? You
kind of
don't have to.
the other thing that you had kind of touched upon is that excuse me, one of the things that we like to do is like once a quarter do a webinar. And so we'll invite those ones that maybe hadn't had became a sale yet, but something that kind of keep them like, oh, here's another thing that we can teach you more about. And also it helps connect with our engineers, because we have in-house engineers about, this is somebody's need. Our product doesn't do it yet, but hey, this is something that we might have down in the roadmap that would be able to fit their needs.
Yeah, I love that. I think we're doing several webinars and over the next 2 weeks with clients on the lead up to the show. So some sort of NAB preview type stuff.
Mhm.
And then we'll also do them right after the show for folks and say, hey, if you didn't make it to the show, we have
Yeah.
this special, training, or however you want to make it helpful and enticing and useful to your audience. Yeah, definitely. Amy, you asked a question here. You feel like you want me to restate it, or you want to jump on and
Oh,
say?
sure. Hi, everybody. I'm just curious, for those of us who don't have a booth and we're floating, we're speaking, we're doing all this other stuff, if you have some suggestions for us.
Yes, I am in your boat now. I spent like, a million years like locked into my booth and would never leave except for to use the restroom. Otherwise, just like fully like on that carpet, like, it felt like 25 hours a day. And so, but now in what I'm doing and working with some of you here on this call and with other people, is I'm like you, Amy, I don't have a booth. And so I get to cruise around the show floor. So one thing that I do, and if this is helpful, on my card, keyboard, I have a text a keyword thing. So you text the word 7 and you can get a chapter of my book that you get the 7 top things that are working in marketing right now for broadcast media specifically, that kind of thing. And so usually I'm looking to just connect and have the micro commitment, like, oh, do you need some help with that? Yes. Do you want to talk next week after the show? Yes. So I'm looking for easy ways to connect with people like that. I definitely use a booking link. You probably do too, Amy, where, hey, meet with me at the show. I know your priority is to meet with engineers at TV stations and video production facilities or whatever. And let's have our appointment. Obviously, if one of those folks pops in while I'm there, we can reschedule. It's all good. But most people are super happy to book. So I do a booking link as well. And just really all the things that Morgan just went over, I'm still doing them, even though I don't have a booth. And you probably are too, Amy. So all of the Mindshare, the LinkedIn videos, the let's meet at the show, the booking link, the follow-up. Oh, Amy, one thing I love to do is, you and I met last year on the monorail. And
Yep.
so when I got off the monorail, I went to my phone where my database, I can access it. And I'm like, there's Amy. And I clicked a link that said send, good to see you at the show email. And so
Right.
you would have gotten an email from me 30 minutes later that said, hey, great to see you at the show. And so I do that. And then that's a great way later I can see a list of who I saw at the show. And I had a quick outreach to them. So I don't know if any of those ideas are helpful, Amy, and feel free to share also.
Yep. Thank you.
All right, so we talked through things to do before the show, during the show, after the show. There's more things, but Morgan and I wanted to be sure we gave you a ton of value. And did anybody get one thing they could use and put into effect today? Is that a no? Oh, I got a yes. Oh, thank God. Like, a couple of yeses. Okay, that's good. That's good. Good. I think we will wrap there and go off to rooms if you have questions. And Ashley can come on and just show us again how we get back to the rooms and meet up there. Morgan, you're amazing. I know you're slammed right now because NAB, and you're
prep,
so
yeah.
nice to take time. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Morgan.
No problem. It's my pleasure.
Thanks, Cindy. Thanks, Morgan.
Thank you.